Hello, guys. Welcome to our fourth episode of our brand new season called Becoming That Girl. In last week's episode titled Let's Get Real, we discussed about the fine line between manifesting and doing, the importance of living within your means, putting action behind the life you want and the goals you have, and so much more. So if you haven't went to check out our last episode, please go check that out, y'all. It's called Let's Get Real. And if this is your first time listening to this episode of our season, make sure that you go tune in to every single episode that we've done thus far in our season, which is only 4 episodes, so a whole month worth of episodes. But check out episode 1, 2, 3, and today we are getting into episode 4, which is called Do the Work. So in today's episode, we will be focusing on the importance of inner work, healing, self-love, changing your mindset, and the importance of doing the work on the inside so that you can live your best life and become your best self, aka that girl, on the outside. I'm so excited for this topic. I feel like it's such an important step on becoming that girl. Like, a lot of people don't understand that anything that's going on the inside will come out on the outside. So you can't look like you that girl and look like you're your best self, but on the inside you still got a whole lot going on, because whether you realize it or not, it's gonna show in some way, shape, or form. So I'm super excited that we're taking the time to talk about the importance on your mindset, the importance of self-love, the importance of healing, etc. So Kiaran is gonna kick us off with our first topic. The floor is yours, and let's get into it.
All right, guys. So I'm going to take you back to, little Kiaran. So in my family, I have a smaller immediate family. It's just 5 of us. And in my family, I am known as the positive one. I'm the only girl. So maybe that kind of says something amongst my siblings. But I'm known as the positive one, the one that always sees like the positive situation in any negative, just, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, even when it's looking really, really dark. And sometimes you got to think that way. So I feel like I can speak for everyone that nobody likes a negative person. Nobody likes to be around a negative person. Nobody likes to be friends with a negative person or a complainer. I think my biggest pet peeve is when you just are around somebody and all they're doing is complaining. It becomes so draining on you. It becomes just irritating. You just want to be like, shut up. Like, girl, stop. Like, come on. Like, find the positive in the situation, because 9 times out of 10, what you're complaining about, you cannot control. And that's another thing that I want to get into as well, is changing your mindset over the things that you can't control, you guys. And I want to ask you guys, starting up my conversation, do you guys, we do self-reflection on this show, but do you guys ever feel like you have to catch yourself when you're being negative and you're complaining? Because you guys, we are not perfect, so we complain, we're negative at times, but we're all working together on getting out of that. So do you guys ever find yourself, or the reactions of other people, that's what it really is when you're complaining to other people, and that's when oh shoot, maybe I should chill out.
Okay, I can kick it off. I'm gonna say yes. Like, I found myself in so many situations where, like, I can be negative. I feel like we all have, like, we all have those moments where
100%.
you can be just negative. Like, something could have happened in your personal life. Something could have happened that just ruins your mood. But I feel like in this new season, I'm learning now how to separate myself from people when my energy is not where I feel like it needs to be. And I feel like that's just so important. It's hard to say no to, not wanting to go to your friend's house, or not wanting to go out, or, not wanting to talk on the phone, not wanting to answer FaceTime. But I've had to learn to set those boundaries for myself when I am just not in the best mood, because it isn't cool to bring that bad energy to people who are not sharing that same energy with you. So there's nothing wrong with being in bad mood sometimes. We all go through it. There's nothing wrong with just not having the best day. But it's important to learn how to separate yourself from people so that you don't give those vibes off to everybody else. Be in your bad vibe by yourself. Like, don't drag everybody else into your bad vibe and everybody like, what's wrong with you? Like, you straight? You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like, I've had to learn how to separate myself. So if I'm just not feeling it, I'm just like, nah, I can't even do it today. Like, today's just not my day. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I'd rather be by myself in my negative energy than to be around other people in my negative energy, because I get so annoyed when people decide to voluntarily come around you and just have bad vibes. Like, keep that over there because I'm chilling.
You speaking facts, because it's true, because you don't want the negative Nancy at the party, like, girl, now I'm mad that I'm even here, you know, so.
Yeah, like they just be killing a
That energy is
vibe.
transferable.
It is, because
Yes,
you just
that
be looking
energy just.
like,
All
why you even
right.
come? You was gonna be on that. Like, just stay where
And I'm
you
quick to be
at.
like, what's wrong with you? Like, because I'm like, you're gonna snap out of that. Because like,
Not
what
just
is
going
wrong with you? Because that's not
direct.
fair.
Oh yeah,
Yes, because it's not fair. Like
key a
Caitlin
direct
said, it is
shooter.
not fair. Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, what's wrong with you? Like, what? Like, let's get to the bottom of this, because you're not gonna ruin down everybody else's vibe just because you're not feeling it. Go be by yourself. Like Caitlin said, that's not fair to other
That's
people.
true. Y'all speaking facts. No, honestly, I feel like I had moments where this is my favorite word. When I'm just in my negative, I'm done. I give up. I'm done. Like, I don't want to do this no more. But honestly, for example, this is a great. So, my birthday, I feel like I was just getting a lot of pressure. I feel like everybody was just like, I can't wait for your pictures. Can't wait for your pictures. And at the restaurant that I was at, the pictures was not coming right. And I was getting furiated. I was just like, you know what? This is the worst day ever. I don't even want to be here anymore. I want to go home. Until this lady at the restaurant was like, she saw my energy and she literally came across. She's like, do you want me to take your pictures? I'm like, yes, please take my pictures. And, but the fact that somebody else across from the room couldn't even feel my negative energy, like she saw, like, all right, this girl looks really nice. Like, she should not be feeling down. Clearly, this have to be her birthday today, so, like, let me take pictures for her. And the fact that she even did that and peeped my negative energy, and the fact that made me correct myself, like, wow, people that I don't even know is really seeing my energy across the room. So I feel like that just made me like, all right, like, let me not be negative. You know what? It's pictures, but at the end of the day, like, I'm alive. This is a new age. I'm healthy. I'm alive in a pandemic, and like, this is a new era for me. So I shouldn't be upset. So I feel like I've had moments where I let little things dampen my whole mood, and other people could see, like, the fact that a random lady across from the table can even peep my mood. So I feel like there's times I have to correct myself, because I've had occasions where I am the negative Nancy. I'm a perfectionist, I feel like. So if nothing's not right, that one thing, and shutting everything down. Shut it down. Shut it down. I'm going home. I'm the first one. I'm going home. I don't care how much the Uber is. I don't care if I'm in a bad mood. I am going. So, as Caitlin said, I
Yeah.
don't want to dampen anybody else's mood. So, I'm more the type, like, I'm a loud person. So, if I'm quiet, yeah, you know. You know. Sabine's not
Yeah.
feeling it today.
I like that you brought that up too, Sabine. The fact that you were at a restaurant and somebody was able to pick up your bad vibes from like a whole table away. Like, it's so transferable. Like, it really is. But it's the worst when like something happens to you in the moment. Like, you're at your dinner, you around people, and something just takes off your whole mood. So it's like you were already there. Like, say you can't prevent it from happening because it's like your mood is just ruined. I think it's so important to have that self-control and have those talks to yourself to be like, okay, like, calm down, or like excuse yourself to the bathroom, or like, that one friend will probably be able to catch on, and maybe they'll be able to like talk, some positivity into you as well, which is why it's so important to, have a solid circle like he talked about last week. Go check that episode out. But you do want to be surrounded by people who know how to get you out of that negative moment. But I feel like you're mainly talking about those people where it's not a moment, it's like a character flaw, and that's not.
Yeah, it's a character
Not the
Yeah,
flaw, and
character
it's
that's not
flaw.
that.
yes,
Like, we all have those
seriously,
moments, but it's different when your
yes,
moment is like every single moment. Like, okay, let's cut it
yes.
out.
It's the people that are the professional negativers, is what I say. Is like they could take a negative from every situation, and it's honestly, like we talked about, energy is transferable. It's draining. People might not want to be around you. You might find yourself being depressed and just upset and just mad at the world type, because you're like, why, and it's because your mind has just become so like gray, so dark, so just quick to jump to the negative, so quick to jump to the bad stuff, just so quick, like you won't even, it's like just like a natural switch to where you won't even think positive. And it's proven actually that when you have an optimistic and a positive mindset, from healthline.com, it gives
Okay.
you higher energy levels, better stress management and coping. You guys, us three, speaking for us three only in this moment, we all are in such a crucial part in our life. We're 21. We're going into a new year, 2022. We graduate in 2022. We turn 22 in 2022. We're just such in a pivotal, right? We're such in a pivotal moment in our lives. And when you allow yourself to go to the future, things can get real question mark and real stress. What am I going to be doing? Where am I going to be living? Who am I going to be with? How much money am I going to be making? Am I going to be able to have fun? Am I going to be like stressed in my 9 to 5 in a cubicle? Like, you just don't know. And your mind literally can go everywhere. That's the power of the unknown, is the uncertainty that comes with it, because you just do not know. There is one person that knows, that's God. So that's when I tell everybody, when they're just like, when I find, those are conversations I have pretty frequently about the future, because it is something that, we're all experiencing in this age. And I like to tell people two things: pray about it and let it go. There's no need to sit in the unknown, because like I said, if you sit there, you're gonna be there forever. And time is just gonna keep flying by, and you'll look back 6 months and be in the same spot because you spent all of your energy and all of your time stressing and thinking negatively. You know what I mean? There's no sense of thinking about what if, all that stuff. Just erase that from your mind, you guys, because, and like I'm saying, it's easier said than done. I'm talking to myself as well, but thinking positive and just having that switch is so much easier. There's so, in the long run, it's so much that we can be grateful for with this Thanksgiving season coming up, you guys. There's always going to be someone that has it worse than you. So you have to have that in the back of your mind. And of course, you don't wish bad upon people, but like, you have a good situation for your situation. You can have dreams, you can have goals, you can achieve them. It's not like you might not ever, but just don't think that, oh, it's not going to happen, or, oh, it didn't happen this time. Then, oh, that's it. That's done. I can't, it didn't happen on this date at this time when I wrote it down in my manifestation journal. Like, no, it does not work like that. You have to check your mindset. Check your mindset at the door is what I say. As soon as you walk into a door, as soon as you walk into a situation, as soon as you walk into anything, check your mindset. Am I thinking positive about it? Am I going in it with the open heart, open mind, open ears, open eyes? Am I being just positive? Because if you already go into it like, well, I don't know, as soon as you say, well, I don't know, that just brings it open a can of worms of all the possibilities of the what ifs. And I have 5 tips on how you can start to change your mindset today. And it starts with identify your negative habits and traits. Like Kayla was saying, and Sabine, they were able to call themselves out on when they get negative and when, they know they can complain, myself as well. So that's the first step, because when you think you don't have a problem, that's when you don't change it, because you're like, oh, I'm fine. What you telling me? I don't complain. You just think this, that, and no. When you identify that problem, that's the first step of changing it. 2, practice. You guys, I cannot talk. Wait, this is a real tongue twister for me. Practice positive self-talk. There we go. I had to slow it down. You have to practice positive self-talk, you guys. When you talk to yourself in a positive way, it reflects on how you look at yourself, how other people might look at you. I had to stop telling myself, oh, that was so dumb of me, or I was so dumb for that. Yes, that's so small, but essentially you're calling yourself dumb. You're not dumb, girl. You just might have messed up. Or when I have a situation like that where I'm talking too fast and my words are running faster than my mouth, I'm like, oh, hold on, I need to slow down, because I was doing a whole lot of like, talk to yourself positively. Like, I just got to be like, okay, like, girl, just slow down. You got it. You know what you want to say. 3 is spend time around positive people. You are who you hang around. Yes, you're not going to be identical to your friends. You guys aren't going to be the same people all the time. But when people have core values, those core values stick with you no matter what person you are. So you want to be around positive people, people that uplift you, people that can try their best to give you good advice, because of course everyone's going to give different advice, but try your best and be positive. 4 is to create a gratitude journal. Write down things that you're thankful for, thankful that you have, thankful that you prayed about and you got it. Just be grateful. Be mindful of the fact that there's so much to life that you have that you might not have yet, but be present and be grateful for the things that you do have in the present time. And the 5th one is focus on the good. We live in a crazy world right now. Things happening every day, every second, every minute. But there's always a good to find in any situation. I promise you. It can be the smallest thing ever. Or if you're having the worst day, but the sun is shining, that's the good right there. It can be a bad day, but that sun is shining. You got the sun on your skin. So be positive and focus on the good, you guys. I'm telling you, change that mindset because you don't want to be a negative Nelly, Nelsie, whatever. There's so many N words, but you don't want to be a negative Nelly. Change your mindset.
Kiara, you gave some good tips. Honestly, to piggyback off you, I'm thinking of, in elementary school when they used to be like, what are you thankful for in Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
I feel like for this season, especially for our listeners, just being for this Thanksgiving season, to even start off, like how you say, create a gratitude journal. Start saying, what are you thankful for? Because it's the season of being thankful. So I feel like for our listeners, right now, just start writing, like, what am I thankful for? I feel like we should do something like, for the Thanksgiving holiday, like, what are we thankful for? Because I feel like, especially everything we've been through, this 20s decade has just been a roller coaster. So much has been going on, and I feel like lately we just need to sit down and think, like, what are we actually thankful for? Especially, like, what's going on. I feel like we don't have these moments where ourselves, like, why am I thankful? Everyone says, like, yo, say thanks to God, but also have a conversation with yourself. Ain't nothing wrong talking to yourself. Just having a little talk with yourself in the mirror. Like, that's a part of self-love. Like, going into my segment, Self-Love 101, it's no issue just talking to yourself and reflecting things with yourself. Because, yes, you can have a conversation with God. Because God is listening. Hey, he the other person in the room. But have a talk with yourself and be like, what am I thankful about? And just going into my segment of Self-Love 101, I'm giving, since class is in session, y'all probably on the way to class. So I'm going to give y'all a little course with me, Professor Sabine, here today. Welcome to Self-Love 101. And I always say self-love is important to being your own individual. Loving yourself is the best form of love that anyone can give you. Loving yourself, but not just for intimate relationships. Love yourself for relationships with your friends, even at work as well. For my working ladies as well. My 9 to 5, my girls right now in the job force, like, your work relationships also play a factor as well, how you treat yourself. And I feel like without loving yourself, your relationships will not prosper and succeed the way that you would like. You also need, as Kiaren said, change your tone when you speak about yourself. Take the words can't out of your vocabulary. Like, I feel like my parents always taught me, do not say you can't do this. Do not say I can't do this. Like, no, you can do it. You're just putting, how can you say it? You're already declining what you could do. Like, you're already stopping what you can do. So you just saying that word can't, those words go to your mind, and then your mind's actually know, like, she actually can't do it. But if you're saying you can do it, your mind's actually saying you can't do it. It's like reverse psychology with yourself. I'm giving little gems with my little psych majors. You know what I'm talking about, reverse psychology on yourself, And I feel like also affirmations is key, a part of self-love, okay? Like, I don't know how many times we said it in each episode. Just start talking to yourself. Start saying, I'm this, I'm pretty, I love that I'm able to do this. I love the voice that God gave me. I love the talent that I'm able to show to others. Start saying that. That is the first step, I'm telling you, of self-love. Once you start saying affirmations about yourself, everything around you is going to start just working in your favor. I'm telling you, it's the secret. It's the secret. It's the secret sauce. Okay? It's the secret sauce of self-love. Okay? And also believe that words transpire. Okay? Like, words are a big thing. It's like, how in middle school, like they say, what's that thing? It's, words would never break me. Something along those lines, like sticks and stones, but words would never break me. Words do hurt. So for yourself, if you're not saying these positive words and these affirmations and just also reflecting with yourself, and you're just putting a negative Nelly, how Kiaren said in her segment, negative Nelly and negative Nancy, it's not going to work for your relationships as well. Like, you want to receive love in the purest ways from your friends. But if you don't know how to love yourself, and then you're going to see your friend or your partner or also the work environment, you're not going to get that same love back because energy is transferable. So if you come in with negative, hey, I'm not about to give you all this love because you're already coming with this hostile energy. So, I'm going to let you be by yourself. And then it just gets into another department where you feel alone, you feel depressed, but you don't realize it starts with yourself. You need to love yourself first because I'm telling you that energy, once you love yourself, you have this glow. It's like this angel glow you got. Like, it's just like this biblical angel glow that you got. Like, people see it. You could sense it in the room. Like, this girl, she's confident. Like, you don't have to be egotistic. You could just literally just doing small steps of loving yourself. People see it in the room. I mean, you will attract a lot of people and good energy as well. But also remember in self-love, know how to receive love from others because a lot of people don't talk about that. People do abuse and push away the love that they get, even from friends, relationships, and also even networking, just like remember the love that you get because a lot of people nowadays, I feel like now, especially this generation, we abuse it. But also people like to say it's because it's trauma. I'd never been loved. Okay, so why can't you start getting love now? What's so wrong? Everybody's meant to have love. And don't also understand that love, if you're getting that love was meant for you to get. So don't abuse it. Also know how to maintain it. Because I'm telling you, once you know how to love yourself, you're going to know how to receive love and also know how to give love. It's also just love is the answer, y'all. Love, love. Love is beautiful. Love is red. Love is big. So I'm telling you, love is a big factor. I'm telling you, these conversations when you have with somebody, the way you talk to somebody, you could tell the way they treat themselves and how they interact with you. Because if they start off negative and just very insecure and all that, you could tell they got some personal issues they need to work on. It's such a big thing. You could tell like, okay, this girl, she got some things to do, especially this season. That girl being that girl, I'm telling you, self-love, to be that girl is key. It's perfect. It is literally the essential of the self-love course that I'm giving you, okay? That's the last step, okay? Remember, it's love. What's love got? No, not love got to do. Love do got to do with it, okay? Love does got to do it. I was trying to do a little similar, but that didn't work. In my head.
What love got to do with
love
it?
got to do with it.
Love got everything to do with it. Period.
Love is the biggest part of your relationships with anybody, intimate and non-intimate. I'm telling you, once you receive it and you know how to give it, everything around you is gonna start reflecting because it just started off with love and that small step. So, do you guys have any advice or tips do you give to someone who's struggling loving themselves or having confidence in themselves?
I think that, speaking from my own experience, I guess you can say, is my grandma and my parents would always just tell me, like, there's nothing like God's love. And that is just like, that is so small of a sentence, but that's just kind of what I hold with me, knowing like God loves us like beyond measures, more than we could ever imagine. And I think if you relate it back to how he made you, you should love the fact that he made you with so much love. Love yourself, Of course, that's easier said than done. Everybody has insecurities. Everybody has things they don't like. That's natural. That's normal. But I think carrying that with you and knowing that there's only one you, and you really ponder on that for real, you really try to be like, okay, well, maybe I am. Maybe I should. Because there really is just one me. There's one Kaylin Johnson. There's one Sabine Agnew. There's one Kieran Kelly. You know what I mean? So once you think of that and kind of just really dive into that, it kind of opens your mind up to the loving yourself more, if that makes sense. If I made sense, you guys. Think deep.
Yeah, no, that was spot on. And I think that, and just like getting to know your voice, like Sabine mentioned earlier, like talking to yourself is so important. Talking to God is equally as important, but God is within us. So learn your voice and master your voice. Don't
100%.
unconsciously talk to yourself. Like, I feel like oftentimes we just be unconsciously saying different things about myself, like, ooh, I need to lose weight. I can't even fit these pants no more. Like, I need to, dang, like, I need to get in the gym, or I need to do abs. Like, yeah, you need to do it, but are you going to do it, or are you just like talking down on yourself? Like, there's such a fine line. Or that voice in your head that is fearful for taking the next step on that goal, or that voice in your head that is preventing you from wanting to take the next step on whatever it is that you need to take the next step on. Like, understand that, yeah, it may sound like you, but that's not you. And you want to be sure to master your voice. So anytime like a negative thought comes up, I used to do this practice all the time, but anytime a negative thought comes up, and you know when it comes up, you know when you talking bad about yourself, it's all in the head. You know when you just get down, and you know when you start saying different things. So when those negative thoughts come up, evaluate the thought. You do not have to recognize the thought or accept the thought. Once it comes, evaluate it and sit and ask yourself, is this even true? Like, is it like, where did this come from? Where did this stem from? And is this even true? And then once you declare that it's not true, once you declare that it's a lie, you'll start to master how to change the narrative of your own unconscious voice. It may sound really weird, but start off simply by recognizing every single negative thought that comes in. Don't internalize the thought. Control the thought. And this really takes time, and it really takes practice. So anytime a negative thought comes into your head, I'm so fat, oh, I don't like my hair, oh, I just wish this, I just wish that. Anytime you have negative self-talk, evaluate the talk. Try to figure out where it's stemming from, what insecurity it's coming from. Figure out if there's something you can actively do to change this insecurity. But if not, then it's a lie, and you just shouldn't even talk to yourself like that. So master your voice so that you can effectively talk to yourself and not talk to yourself in a way that's going to be detrimental to your growth. So I feel like it's just all about mastering your voice. And I feel like through God is really how you do that. Like, it really starts off with God. It starts off with those affirmations. You know what I mean? It starts off with those affirmations. You want to affirm yourself of everything that God said you were. God made us perfect in his image. I am so happy that I am perfectly made in God's image. I am so happy that I am flawless. You know what I mean? I am so happy that I'm forgiven. Like, remind yourself of all the things that God told you to be. You know what I'm saying? I really feel like it starts as that root. God is like the main root. So affirmations and changing that voice. And just to wrap things up, like, first of all, I love what we've been talking about so far. Like, I feel like it's so powerful, so essential. But we're getting closer to the end of our episode. So to end off the episode, I just wanted to highlight how essential healing is, how essential loving yourself is, how essential changing your mindset is. What Kiara talked about, not being negative. You know what I mean? Like, not being fun to be around. Like, why can't I talk? What is going on today? But we all know that one person who is just not fun to be around, and you don't ever want to be that person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't ever just want to not be fun to be around. So I just feel like everything that we've talked about was so essential. Like, I love the topic so far, but on the journey of becoming your best self, y'all, you have to do the inner work. You cannot skip this step. Everyone always feels like, okay, let's, you know what I'm saying, get to the bag, get the money, start the business, boom, like I'm that girl. No. Because everything is eventually gonna come to surface. And that's exactly why we wanted to highlight this importance. In previous episodes, we talked about a lot of internal stuff, but we talked about just the basic foundations. But I feel like these are the main foundations to becoming your best self. So you want to make sure that you're working on the inside, because anything that's going on the inside will be projected on the outside. Just like all of us have mentioned before in this episode. If you insecure, like Sabine had mentioned, if you insecure and you know what I'm saying, you just ain't 100% right on the inside and in your heart, it's gonna show up. It's gonna show up in the way you speak to people. It's gonna show up in the way you carry yourself. A lot of people feel like they're so low, and it's like, you not low, sis. We see you. We see you. Like, you cute, but we see you. We all know them people who look good, but they ain't good, and it's very obvious in just the way that their light shines. And I love that we made that analogy of that light, because that light is real. Yeah, you can't physically see it, but trust me, people can feel it. You feel when somebody walk in the room and they got it. You feel when somebody walk in the room bad vibes because they looking around and me mugging everybody, and you like, what's up with her? You feel when somebody walk in the room and it's sad. Like, it's really weird, but you could feel somebody's light. So on the journey of becoming that girl, you want to walk in that room and be that girl. And the only way that you can really sell it is, yes, by looking good, because that's going to be the first thing that people, pay attention to, because we're visual. But the second thing is, dang, her personality is right. Dang, she confident. Dang, she gives love. She receives love. Like, she just exudes herself in such a high manner and such a high standard, because she's done the inner work. And I feel like the healing journey is such a long journey. I feel like we're all still on our healing journey. I know I'm still on my healing journey. It's a never ending kind of journey, but you want to know how to do it. You don't ever want to just ignore the trauma that you faced. You don't ever want to just ignore those insecurities, because, like Sabine mentioned before, Sabine brought up some good points before in her self-love segment. The more you ignore these things, the more you ignore these insecurities. And Kiara brought this up too. You want to own them. Own them so that you can do something about them. If you just don't own them, you just don't recognize them, then they're just there, just sitting there, and you're not doing anything about it. So the insecurities, yeah, you may not think about them 24/7, but that doesn't mean that they haven't gone away. But they haven't gone away because you haven't even taken the time to own them. You haven't even taken the time to recognize that you have an insecurity so that you can get rid of it. So please do the inner work, y'all. Your energy, your personality, your attitude, your perspective in real life is going to be the deciding factor in building the life that you really desire, okay? And it's not easy. I know when a lot of people talk about inner work, a couple people may argue like it's hard to deal with that unhealed trauma on your own. It's hard to build confidence on your own. It's hard to learn how to love yourself on your own, how to talk to yourself positively on your own. It really is, but I know we talk about God on this podcast a lot, but I'm letting you guys know that you are never alone on this journey the way you really think you are. Physically, you may be, but God is always at your leisure. Now, whether or not you want to use this resource that's always available to you is on you. But I'm letting y'all know, and we will all attest to this, that this journey is far more easier when you have God on your side, when you truly tap in to one of the best resources I know of. Money is a pretty cool resource, you know what I'm saying? Clothes, hair, you know what I'm saying? These are pretty cool resources, even books, even education, even our laptops. Great resources, but it ain't no resource like God. And this resource is available to everybody. You don't got to go on Amazon and buy it. You don't got to go on Instagram and DM them, and you don't got to do none of that. All you got to do is sit and pray. Sometimes all you got to do is sit. You don't even got to say nothing. All you got to do is meditate sometimes and truly tap in so that you can understand what this resource is guiding you to do. You can understand how to best deal with your unhealed traumas. We can give you guys the best tips that have worked for us, but the way we deal with our traumas, even just amongst us three, are going to be completely different from each other, because we have different traumas. We have different things that we may have gone through in life, different things that we may have experienced in life that has shaped us into who we are. So maybe not everyone can journal, or maybe not everyone can do this or that. You have to tap into God so you can best figure out how to deal with the things that get brought up. Therapy may be your answer, but to someone else, therapy may just not work for them. So you have to tap into that. You know how to deal with your trauma. Try different things, because that's how you can learn what outlets work best for you. But once you really tap in, you'll be able to recognize, like, ooh, okay, this is the trauma that I have. Okay, how can I best express this, or best get this emotion out of me, or best heal from this insecurity that I'm feeling, this sadness that I'm feeling, this situation that I never healed from? Like, how can I bounce back from this? So I always say to meditate, but I feel like, meditation is one of those things where I feel like it works for everybody. It's nothing like sitting still and just being able to hear God speak to you. We always talk about journaling, and please go listen to previous episodes. I'm pretty sure we talked about it in this season, but I gave you guys a journaling tip that I personally like to do when I journal. And I journal to God. I just say, "Dear God," and I start off thanking him, and then I start off, thanking him for things that he hasn't even done yet. Form of manifestation. I ask for things. I pray for myself. I pray for those that are on my heart to pray about. So you could do that, or you can journal just to get your thoughts out. I have a specific journal that I use for God, but I also have a journal where I may talk about whatever I want to talk about that I may not want to put dear God on. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going through a relationship breakup, or I'm mad at somebody I'm dealing with and I just want to get it off my chest, I may journal in that way where I'm just like, so today, blah, 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 got on my nerves and they did this, that, and the third. That's such a therapeutic form of journaling because you're getting it out your system. You may not want to call people to tell them about what's going on with you all the time. And I don't recommend doing that anyways. So have that separate journal where you are just talking to yourself and you're getting everything off your chest that you want to get into or get off of personally. Like, you don't even got to tell nobody about your business. You can just get it off your chest. And once you write it down, you be like, dang, like, I feel so much better. Some people burn it once they're done. If it's something that they really want to get rid of, some people throw it away. And some people just keep it for memory. So when they are truly growing into who they want to grow into, they can look back and see how far they've come. So try these things. Watch how fast your life transforms. And to finally end off our episode, I want to ask you guys, how has your inner work and self-healing journey been so far? And you can be honest. It could be really good. It could be really bad. It could be like, I haven't really been doing what I need to do yet. And what's one of the hardest things you had to learn, like, on this journey? Like, what are some things that have came up, or what are some things that you felt would be easy that really weren't easy? Just talk to us about how you all's journey has been so far. It can be healing, it could be self-love, it could be however you interpret it. How has it been so far, and what are the hardest parts you've had to learn about it?
Honestly, that's a really good question, because I never had these questions with myself. Like, I never really had those moments. But honestly, I feel like I'm still growing. I'm still learning. It's still a learning process. I'm not saying I'm completely self-healed or I completely fix all the inner work, because I do have some issues that I feel like I still need to work on 100%. Just being open with you guys, just like, there's things I know I still have to work on, but it's also a part of life. There's things like, for instance, me just learning on the journey, things happen for a reason. That is something I'm really believing. That is a quote that I stick to life. Like, everything happens for a reason. There's things I went through at 16, and I'm thinking it was the end of the world. I am crying, boo-hooing, and then now I'm 21. I'm like, I don't know why I did all that, because look at me now. Like, I'm seeing, like, I cried and I made myself feel in this dark space. Little do I know, like, it just happened for a reason. Like, things like this happen. Like, it had to happen for you to be here. And I feel like that's what I'm learning a part of this journey. It's just, everything happens for a reason, and I have to accept what comes with it. Either I'm not gonna get, and also I learned, you don't get everything you want, okay? No matter, everything is meant for you. God has a plan. That's something my mom always says. Like, you could say you want this, but God knows what you really need. There's always a thing. I used to learn in Catholic school, there's a difference between wants and needs, okay? So you could tell God, please, I really want this. I want this to happen. Like, I want to be this person. But God was like, no, I got something way better for you. And it's always better. That's something I'm always learning on the journey. It's always something I didn't even think would happen, and now it benefits me, and I'm happy it happened. I'm happy this thing happened so I could be here, because God knew it had to happen in order for me to be where I'm at. So part of this journey, I'm just learning that every day is a new day. And each thing that happens, like, also remember, I am growing into be my grown woman self. I'm going to become a mother, and I feel like also these steps you need to go through in order, because when you have kids, that is a big thing. You're your kid's first teacher. That's something they always taught me in like high school. Your parents are your first teachers. So all this journey and healing, you don't want to have these negative Nancy's and all that. And then when you get to kids, and also even when you get into motherhood in general, like, kids feel that energy. Like, even like, you want to be positive, you want to heal correctly, you want to love yourself, and also work on yourself, because once you become a mother, that is the softest, purest form of love, and kids reflect on that. And then that's a whole different topic in general. I don't even want to segue, but like, kids get those energy. So you don't want to be like, oh, she like that because her mama like that. You don't want that. So you have to work on yourself, because once we're parents, that is when whatever we learned in this journey, now we got to pass it on. So that's how I always look at it, in terms of my journey.
Yeah, no, I mean, Sabine definitely hit a good couple of nails that I can definitely attest to as well. Is just understanding and knowing that everything you want isn't written in the plan for you by God, and I've had to learn that as well. Like, I might want this, but that might not be the plan that God has for me. And in the end, like Sabine said, it's always bigger, it's always better. I think the plan that we have for ourselves is so minuscule based upon the plan that God has for us. There's a way, way bigger plan that God has for us, bigger and better. So part of my journey has just been putting trust into God, and like putting blind trust, knowing I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know where, but just praying and just knowing that it's gonna work out. I don't know how it's gonna work out, I don't know what's going to work out, but it's gonna work out. So I think the main thing for me has just been praying. Like I said, I harp on this stage in our life so much, because I feel like it's such a transitional stage for everybody in their own different ways. So really just my thing has been praying. 2-3 Sundays ago, the church bells, that's our little group chat for the friends of us that go to church on Sunday, we went to a service, and it was titled, pretty much not titled, but it was surrounded by creating your battle rhythm. And essentially that was just finding a rhythm for yourself, finding a groove, so you can have your armor on, pretty much ready for anything that comes to attack you and get you off your groove, get you off the beaten path. So I think that's something that I have been not doing the best at right now of implementing. I feel like just being in school, you just get so distracted from like the things that you really need to do and want to do. So I feel like being busy has gotten me a little bit distracted, but I think this Thanksgiving break is going to give me some time to, be able to perfect my battle rhythm and, be more attentive to myself. I think self-care is another thing as well. It's like, you can't always do so much for everybody. You got to start doing stuff for yourself. So I think taking time for myself has been another thing as well. And just realizing that life is not going to be peaches and cream. Like, there's going to be stuff that comes. There's going to be situations that comes. But it's how you handle them is what makes you a better person, a better mother. Like Sabine was saying, one day, y'all, we ain't talking about now. But just one day along the line just makes us a better person. And it turns us into that girl. So I think those are some things that I have essentially been using on my journey right now. And just like Kaylin said as well, just being still. Like, I've just kind of am now learning to just like stop worrying. Like, yes, you're gonna worry, but like, why worry? Like, this is me talking to myself, like, why worry? Because I know that I have faith that God's gonna work it out. However it's going to work out, it's gonna work out. So I think I've just been at like a chill mode. Like, you know what, it's gonna work out. I don't know how, I don't know when. Sometimes I find myself getting worried and nervous, and I think about it, but then I'm just like, it's going to work out. I let it go. Pray and let it go. But yeah, you guys, that is essentially going to wrap up. If this isn't going to be in the video or on YouTube, you call me the last show of the episode, because we're getting there, guys. We are halfway through season one of becoming that girl. We hope you guys are enjoying everything, taking heed, taking notes, you guys, because when we get on Instagram and ask you what you learned at the end of the season, we hope you learned. We hope you come with something, you ready to pass the final, you ready to pass the test.
right.
Because there's so many things that we have been telling you guys, and as we talk to ourselves, as we talk to you guys, we talk to ourselves as well.
Right.
So you guys, to stay up to date, follow us at K Squared Pod. Make sure you're up to date. Post notifications on, because we do post this there, as well as YouTube and of course the podcast platforms every Friday. You guys, we thank you so much for all of your support and love, and we will see you guys next Friday. Bye guys.